Hello there, very good evening and welcome to your Primetime News Bulletin. I'm Sheikh Silva.
I'm Stephanie Lazarus. Before we head into the news in detail, here's a look at the headlines for tonight.
Salman Khan and Jacqueline Fernandez in Sri Lanka for UPFA election campaign. New generation artist group attacked in Kumu while mustering support for Maithripala Sirisena. Inclement weather system dissipating, 30 lives lost to floods and landslides.
Now, stories in detail. Indian actor Salman Khan and Sri Lankan-born Jacqueline Fernandez arrived in Sri Lanka this morning. India's PTI news agency reported that Salman Khan has arrived in Sri Lanka to join the re-election campaign of President Mahinda Rajapaksa. PTI also reports that this is the first time that an Indian actor has participated in this way in a Sri Lankan poll.
PTI reports that 5 other Bollywood performers are accompanying Khan and Fernandez. The duo participated at a health clinic at Campbell Park in Borala this morning, which was organized by the Tharuneta Hetak organization and the Thilanga Sumadipala Foundation.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is one Jacqueline Fernandez as well as parliamentarian Namal Rajapaksa of today's medical camp.
The president too participated in this multi-service health clinic, which also featured eye and dental care services. We extend our best wishes to Salman Khan and Jacqueline Fernandez for coming here on the invitation of the president of the Tharuneta Hetak organization, Namal Rajapaksa. We are thankful to them. We would not have dissolved this if we could not win. We do not engage in politics to be defeated and then go home. The president should continue to be the leader of this country, not only for another 5 or 10 years, but for as long as he contests elections. Following the conclusion of the clinic, the president met with people at the location accompanied by the Bollywood performers.
Today's medical camp. Apart from that, we're giving out precautions, we're getting medical examination.
A group of artists who are participating in a program to marshal support for presidential candidate Maithripala Sirisena have been attacked in Kumu, Kurunegala. A group including Samanali Fonseca and Indra Chapalianage were amongst the injured.
The organization known as New Generation Artists organized a program under the theme Mulawin Midemu in Kumugate today. The organizers said that a group of close to 100 persons attacked them during the program. The organization provided video footage of the incident on social media. The stage where the event was being held was also damaged in the incident. Subsequent to the incident, the group lodged a complaint with the senior DIG in charge of the Northwestern Province. However, they were advised to lodge a complaint with the SSP of Kurunegala instead. After having lodged a complaint with police, several members of the New Generation Artists were admitted to the Kurunegala Teaching Hospital. Meanwhile, the police media spokesperson stated that investigations have commenced into the incident.
Nil Pata t-shirt ඇඳගත් Nil Balakaya t-shirt ඇඳගත් පිරිස.
When I was announcing during the program, a group of close to 100 people dressed in Nil Balakaya t-shirts entered the premises and started hooting at us. They started shouting at us in filthy language and pelted stones at us and disrupted the program.
වැඩසටහනම කඩාකප්පල් කරා.
I believe that this is a good example of how we do not have the right to express our thoughts and our beliefs.
මම හිතන්නේ
I believe that in a civilized country, an attack on artists of this fashion would be considered as similar to an attack on the clergy.
ඒ රටේ පූජනීය පූජක පක්ෂයකට පහර දුන්නා වගේ. ළඟදී ඉඳලා පටන් අරන් තියෙන කලාකරුවන්ට පහර දෙන්න.
As of recently, they have begun attacking artists. This is an exhibition of their malice. If there is a person who witnessed this, then I ask them to announce their punishment for those malicious persons on the 8th.
අසයටපත් කරන ලෙස ගෞරවයෙන් ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා මේ රටේ මහ ජනතාවගෙන්.
The JHU expressed the following views at a media briefing held today.
We do not engage in the politics of exhibitionism, pageantry and leisure. We are with the people in this country who face many hardships and the future of this historic national wave. We trust these people. We believe that immense destruction had been brought on this country through destructive development and by hitting the people in their stomachs and burdening them with taxes for petrol, diesel, wheat flour and milk powder. Family livelihoods have been destroyed completely. The people have been made to despair. The people are clamoring for democracy and good governance now. This journey of the people cannot be stopped by the exhibitionist pageantry of foreign actors and actresses. Remember that they are paying for all this using the tax they charge from us on our milk powder and wheat flour.
The Department of Meteorology states that heavy rains which wreaked havoc in 5 provinces during the past 10 days may recede in the coming days. The DMC notes that the death toll following the extreme weather condition in the island has risen to 30.
According to the Met Department, the low pressure condition that was prevalent over the island is moving away from Sri Lanka. The department, however, added that strong winds may be experienced during the next few days. The Polonnaruwa district experienced a decrease in rainfall last night. A number of spill gates of the main area, Kaudulla and Parakuma Samundra was closed this morning. Furthermore, water levels of several areas which were inundated owing to heavy showers are gradually receding. However, a number of roads in the area still remain flooded. The Polonnaruwa-Batiklo road, which was closed for 10 days, was reopened today. The Colombo-Batiklo railway track in the Galalle area, which was damaged due to heavy rains, has been restored by the army and was also reopened this morning. Currently, 4,036 families have been placed at 47 relief camps in the Polonnaruwa district. Meanwhile, the Sungawila-Somawati main road remains inundated. The Department of Agrarian Development stated that 90,000 acres of paddy land in the Polonnaruwa district have been destroyed. Its Commissioner General Sunil Veerasinghe noted that measures have been taken to recultivate paddy lands which have been destroyed by the floods with the assistance of the Agrarian Insurance Board. Area residents of Mihindupura, Yasasiripura, Jayasiripura and Jayantimawata have begun resettling in their houses which were underwater in Anuradhapura. Meanwhile, area residents claim that there is a risk of the Kokwidao Band in Nochagama breaking. 110 families are at risk. Meanwhile, several houses in the Amunukulea village, Manankatche and Mawakkulama have been inundated owing to the Biriegasawa and Kalu Obe rivers breaking its banks. Furthermore, we were able to witness the manner in which the inclement weather caused damages to property and disrupted the day-to-day activities of residents in the Badulla district.
Favorable sunny weather was experienced since this morning in Badulla.
Meanwhile, the bodies of 2 persons who were reported missing in the Subodagama area in Uduara, Halyala was recovered last night. The final rites of a family of 5 and the father of 2 sons who fell victim to a landslide which occurred on the Moragala hill in Rilpola, Morogolla, Badulla on Saturday took place today. Paddy lands in the Matale district were destroyed due to heavy rains experienced in the area. Several byroads and main roads in the area were damaged as a result. A number of low-lying areas have also been inundated owing to the Ambanganga river overflowing due to the Bovatana reservoir as a result of the continuous rainfall. 2 spill gates of the Tabbova reservoir were closed this morning. One of the villages in Tabbova still remains inundated. Our cameras captured the manner in which an individual was swept away by a strong current yesterday. Around 1,479 families have sought refuge at 14 relief camps in the Chilau area. The Ampara district has seen a decrease in rainfall. Meanwhile, renovation work on the Puthuvil-Simalandua main road is being carried out by the army. A number of landslides and rock slides have been reported from several areas across the island today as well. A number of houses in the Kalugattanna village in Kurunagala was affected by a landslide, and the families have been housed at the Delvita Mahavidyalaya. Meanwhile, the cancer ward at the Kandy General Hospital has been closed due to a landslide which occurred in close proximity to the area. Due to the landslide on Saturday, 22 in-house patients have been transferred to another ward. Our correspondent stated that the Kandy Nuwara Elia main road has been covered in debris following a landslide which occurred in the Goragedihala area in Rambada last night. Our correspondent said that the road has been cleared for vehicular movement.
The Sirasa Shakti Sahana Yatra, together with John Keel's, distributed relief items to areas which were badly affected by flooding today as well. The Sahana Yatra departed to 5 areas last morning.
Sirasa Shakti Sahanayatra, together with John Keels, departed to Batikalo, Polonnaruwa, Anuradhapura and Chilau areas severely battered by the extreme weather to provide relief to those affected. The convoys reached several villages last evening and distributed goods throughout the night. Security forces personnel rendered their assistance to distribute the relief items to the people.
ඒ ගෙවල් දොරවල් සේරම යට වෙලා බඩු මුට්ටුත් නෑ ගාගෙන ගිහිල්ලා මේක හරි හම්බෙච්ච එක ලොකු දෙයක්. ඒවලක සත්‍යයලයි වලයි දාන්න.
You have done a great deed by bringing us this relief. We have small children here and it is difficult to even sleep at night. It has been 8 to 9 days since we came here. We thank you for bringing us this aid. There wasn't any milk powder to give the children.
Meanwhile, several teams reached their destinations only last night and distributed relief items today.
We're thankful to you for bringing us this aid. Our homes are flooded and are in a state where we cannot cook and eat. That is why we have come here to the school. We cannot keep the children there. We live amid many hardships. We have been here for 10 to 11 days now.
Our homes are washed away and we came here amid many hardships. We were undergoing a lot of suffering when Shakti came here with their relief for us. We thank the Lord for this assistance that we have received.
President Mahinda Rajapaksa says that if the nation is to move towards change, it should be changed for the better. The president made this statement during a meeting with a group of Sri Lankan expatriates.
A meeting of the European Sri Lankans organisation was held in Colombo this morning. A group of Sri Lankan expatriates from Italy, England, Germany, Switzerland, Netherlands and Sweden participated at this meeting.
It took 1.5 hours to get from Katunayaka to here. Now it only takes 15 to 20 minutes. So change is happening. If there is a need for change again, then it should not be a regression to the time where it took 1.5 hours to travel. When moving towards change, it should be changed for the better. It should not be change for destruction. Are these people with the strength to bring about change? We need to think about this too. You, who are living in Europe, must be aware of this change and the change that is happening in other countries. I believe that a certain group in Sri Lanka has turned heads using a Facebook view. Certain groups are doing all this. It is the same thing that happened in Libya.
The maximum number of votes we can receive from the north and east is 300,000. Then we are ready to respond to that. For this response, we are using the Kurunegala district, where we will win with the majority of 350,000 votes. We will quash all the votes in the north and east using the votes we get from a single district. Sirisena and the others think that they can win votes through Facebook. Now in this country, it is a battle between dollars and rupees. The price of a Pradesh Sabha member is not what was determined the previous night. It is what is determined in the morning. Who calls them on the phone? Madam Chandrika.
Four local government authority representatives from the United National Party joined the UPFA this morning and pledged their support to President Mahinda Rajapaksa at the President's residence today. The group included UMP Matale Municipal Councillor Tushara Fernando and UMP Matale Pradesh Sabha member Asita Sena Ratna. UMP member of the Dharangoda Pradesh Sabha BJAU Sirisena and UMP member of the Uva Paranagama Pradesh Sabha DM Sirisena also joined the UPFA today. The President also addressed a rally held near the Palagoda roundabout today.
The drugs were not drugs that were brought in yesterday or the day before. The drugs were not brought in during this era. It has been widespread throughout history. We were the ones who started seizing the drugs. They only started speaking of drugs when we started seizing the drugs. What is worse is that the drug users are also talking about it. The people who are running around crying thief, thief are the thieves themselves. Some of them are exactly the same. We have never signed off on a tavern. I must state that clearly. Madam Chandrika signed off on some. I never signed even one. All the bars that were established are the ones that got licenses beforehand. We did not do it. We did not give bar licenses or casino licenses. Several of our people went over to the other side without informing us. Since the day they went, they have said that they are pure and that the government is wrong.
New Democratic Front presidential candidate Maithripala Sirisena has promised to return lands to people who were illegally deprived of their lands. He made this promise at a public rally held in Samanturai, Ampara yesterday.
Several public representatives from the common opposition participated at this public rally organized in support of presidential candidate Maithripala Sirisena.
I know very well that this government did not treat you well. The Mahinda Rajapaksa regime has taken vast swaths of valuable land in this country and given it to their loyalists. They stole lands illegally and took away your lands and treated you unfairly. Those lands were given to other people. We will investigate this, and I state that I will return these lands to people in this area. I state clearly that we will bring all of those people before the law and punish them. I guarantee to you that under the government that we form, all communities in this country will be free to follow their religions.
A rally was also held in the Ampara town yesterday in support of Maithripala Sirisena.
ලංකාවේ තිබෙන භූමි ප්‍රමාණය වගේ භූමි 10කට ප්‍රමාණවත්. නමුත් ඒ ජල කළමනාකරණය
The amount of water in Sri Lanka is enough for a land mass that is 10 times the size of the country, but sufficient funding is not allocated for water management. Why? Because they cannot take commissions from that. The government does not provide funding to build waterways. They only fund massive projects from which they can steal. Several MPs and ministers in the government are not involved in campaigning today. They are silent. I know what is happening everywhere. Now they are stating that they will win by any means. They can do whatever they want, but we will not allow it. We say to you, go on the morning of the 8th to the polling booth and cast your vote. We will look after the rest. They only allocate 60 billion for education. Every year, 450,000 students sit for the advanced levels, but only 25,000 can get into university. The education of 425,000 students collapses and they are made to leave. But a total of 8.9 billion rupees is allocated each year for the food, drink, vehicles, clothing, lodging and foreign travel that is given free to the ruler. My brothers, all that the Rajapaksa family wants is money and power. He would never have imagined in his lifetime that what is transpiring today would happen. He thought that he could do any dirty deed he wanted and that we would line up behind him to make him king. As of today, we have held talks with the Janata Vimukti Peramuna, and while we deal blows to them on one front, the JVP is dealing blows to them on another front. My brothers, remember that we will journey separately and reach the same goal of chasing out the Rajapaksa family on the 8th. The wife of Prasanna Solangarachi, the chairman of the Kotikawata Mulleriya Pradeshya Sabha, revealed to the media today that there is a threat to her husband's safety. Speaking at a media briefing in Colombo, she stated that her husband's safety came under threat ever since he pledged his support to Maithripala Sirisena.
The wife of Prasanna Solangarachi attended the press briefing along with a group of lawyers. The group revealed here that there is an attempt being made to arrest Solangarachi based on a complaint lodged by the Hivela Mount Lavinia Municipal Councillor Savitra De Silva.
පළවෙනි දවසේ ඉඳන්ම STF නිලධාරීන් පුරෝගත්ත රථවාහන විනාඩි 5ට අපි ජීවත් වෙන ප්‍රදේශයේ අවට සැරිසරනවා.
Since day one, vehicles carrying STF officers continue to patrol the vicinity of our residence. This is the police jeep that came in search of my husband yesterday. I am pregnant. From the moment I wake up every morning, I keep thinking of my husband's fate, because everyone knows that on the 8th of October 2010, Bharata Lakshman Premachandra was murdered along with 4 others. To be honest, I don't want my husband to go through such a fate. I'm present here speaking because there is certainly a threat to his life. I don't know why the present government is doing such things. I know very well that he will never carry nor use weapons, but he has a conscience where he would point out faults the moment he sees it. So, I don't think the present government sees this as something wrong.
ඔහුව ගිහිල්ලා තියාගන්න නමුත් ඔහු මරන්න එපා.
Since 6 days, my husband is not with me. I don't know where he is exactly. I don't go to speak, because if I do, it might be problematic for him. Yesterday, the Crimes Investigation Unit in Dematogoda summoned me with absolutely no documentation. So just think, if I go to police, how could we place our trust in them?
ඊයේ දෙමටගොඩ අපරාධ විමර්ශනාංශයෙන් එන්න කියනවා කිසිම ලියකියවිල්ලක් නැතුව. ඉතින් හිතන්න මට පුළුවන් ද පොලිසියකට යන්න කොහොමද අපි විශ්වාස කරන්නේ?
සචිත්‍ර ද සිල්වා මේ ස්වයංක්‍රීය ගිනියවිය රැගෙන කොළඹ අපරාධ කොට්ටාසයට
Savitra De Silva had handed over an automatic weapon to the Colombo Crimes Division. Police arrested this Savitra De Silva, but unfortunately he has been released on bail. Under this act, an individual who possesses an automatic weapon cannot be released on bail. It is very clear that this was carried out based on political motives. We questioned the police regarding this person, Savitra De Silva, who was arrested, the person who handed over an automatic weapon, and then arrested by the police. On whose orders was he released on bail? Prasanna Solangarachi will be arrested claiming that he was involved in some illegal activity, thereby dismantling his political activities. This is what is happening. Possessing a firearm is an offence. Even the magistrate's court cannot grant bail for this offence. The Inspector General of Police must immediately provide an explanation as to how Savitra De Silva was released by the Democratic CID on police bail. Generally, we know if someone stabbed a person to death with a knife, a lawyer wouldn't take the weapon used in the murder to lodge a complaint with the police. For the first time in history, how did the culprit go to lodge the complaint along with his weapon and a legal advisor from the Ministry of Defence and Urban Development, Harigupta Rohanadira? How? This is the confusion. As lawyers, this is our biggest question.
Meanwhile, speaking at a rally held in Vattala last evening, Susil Kinderpitiya, the Democratic Party's organizer in the Kolonnawa electorate, also commented on the incident.
Soon after Nishantha Muthuhettigama was arrested at the airport, there is a parrot known as the police media spokesperson who made a highly amusing statement. He said, "We arrested Nishantha Muthuhettigama at the airport, and that this shows that the law is being enforced in our country." If that is the case, then why was he not arrested before he left the country? The law was not enforced when left, but as soon as he returned, they acted out a little drama. This was directed very well by the police and the Rajapaksas together. At present, they are engaged in a major effort to attempt to plant a firearm in the house of our Pradeshya Sabha chairman, Prasanna Solangarachi. When they were unable to do so, they found a councillor at the Dehiwala Mount Lavinia Municipal Council, Savitra De Silva. You may remember him from the way he acted like a bull in a china shop at a recent press conference. They gave him a pistol and told him to go to the CCD. He took the pistol to the CCD and told them that it was given to him by Prasanna Solangarachi. Now do you see? Now they are running behind Prasanna Solangarachi to arrest him. What an amazing world. While they have no qualms about arresting Prasanna Solangarachi after planting a weapon, they could not catch the person who broke the law before he left the country. Then they acted out a little play when they did arrest him. This is all pageantry, my dear friends.
A number of rallies were organised by the UNP to lobby support for presidential candidate Maithripala Sirisena. Speaking in Katugannawa, opposition leader Ranil Wickremesinghe charged that the constitution is being violated during campaigning.
It is disgraceful that the president is using the national anthem for personal gains. They are so patriotic, they keep blaming us, saying that we are enslaved by international forces. Who worked towards launching this? An American. If he is making the national anthem his property, making it his personal asset, then it is a breach of the constitution. In truth, we can bring an impeachment motion against him. I believe that this is the second freedom fight. The rights we obtained through our fight for freedom are being snatched away from us gradually. This is the challenge we are facing at present. When the country loses its freedom, when the country is being pushed to a hollow end, when the country is moving towards destruction, the first to sense it are the sensible.
We don't have 3 square meals. There is not enough rice to satisfy the hunger. Speak about these things. How many are being starved? When 70 to 80 to 90% of resources are distributed among the wealthy, there is nothing left for the people to eat.
They say that this is the wonder of Asia. Yes, this may be a wonder for them. When our people are suffering in hunger, they are in the possession of everything, including helicopters, horses and Lamborghinis. This could be a wonder for them. I would like to ask whether this is Rajapaksa's wonder.
Meanwhile, another rally organised by the UNP was held in Slave Island yesterday.
The people living in Slave Island, be they Sinhalese or Muslims, were chased out of their homes like dogs. This government built an auditorium for the people living in Hambantota and gave jobs for the ones in Hambantota. What has this government done for the people living in central Colombo?
විශේෂයෙන් මදකොළඹ ජනතාවට මොනවද කරේ?
මේ අහිංසක ජනතාව ජීවත් කරවීම තමයි අපට අවශ්‍ය වන්නේ.
The need of the hour is to give life to the people. A month's earning is insufficient for a week. The country's corruption rate is increasing each day. The youth are losing employment in the country. Businesses are shutting down instead of being opened. This is where change is needed.
අපි සංවර්ධනයක් කරනවා. මේ වගේ සංවර්ධනයක් නෙමෙයි. කර්මාන්ත ලංකාවට ගෙනල්ලා රැකියා උත්පාදනය කරලා ත්‍රිවිල ලංකාව.
We will develop the country, not for display. We will bring new industries and open up jobs in the country. We will manufacture three-wheelers, vans, trucks and buses in the country. When the country starts developing, we will pave the way for all of you to build houses of 4, 5 and even 6 stories on pieces of land of 2 perches or even more that were provided to the people by Premadasa.
Provincial Councillor Jayantha De Silva expressed his views this afternoon.
No matter how much of an interest is shown by the President, he has forgotten the fundamentals of cricket. There are only 2 innings in the game of cricket, the first and the second. There is no third innings. Therefore, Mahinda Rajapaksa should know that there are only 2 innings in the game of cricket. He has played both innings. Not only will he lose if he resorts to playing a third innings, he will also have to forget the time that he spent there.
Senior Deputy Chairman of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, Minister Nimal Siripala De Silva, says that the party will not be a part of a national government. He made this statement addressing a media briefing in Colombo today.
SLFPers who support him have all left. Those who are remaining in the party will not support his candidature. I would like to clearly tell him that the Sri Lanka Freedom Party will not support the agenda of Maithripala Sirisena or that of Ranil Wickremesinghe. We will only endorse the agenda of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. I would like to remind you all that the Sri Lanka Freedom Party had never destroyed the opposition in order to establish a national government. Ranil Wickremesinghe had said that he will establish a national government within 2 years. As the senior deputy chairman of the SLFP, I would like to responsibly state that we do not have a policy to be a part of a national government. The SLFP will only create its own government. I would like to tell the people of the country, based on our analysis, we will acquire 54%. Within the next couple of weeks, we will acquire 54%. We will not make this statement otherwise. We will acquire 54% from the poor. An opportunity has dawned. What is it? Nationalism is on one side. People have now a reason to ponder. This country need not divide. Not should it fall into the abyss. We have rejected nationalistic views. We will support President Mahinda Rajapaksa. We request a mandate from the people to fulfill this objective.
A young man and a woman were injured in a motor accident that took place this evening in Kalapaluava, Rajgiriya.
The accident took place at the Kalapaluava junction when a defender jeep travelling from the Ambagaha junction collided with a tipper truck travelling in the opposite direction.
When I was travelling towards the Ambagaha junction, I saw a defender jeep travelling at high speed, which then lost control. There were 2 young people at the bus stand. The defender ran over them and then crashed onto my vehicle. Another defender came from behind and left.
The defender had veered off the road and crashed into the bus stand. The Office of the Police Media spokesperson said that an 18-year-old male and a 17-year-old female injured in the accident were admitted to the National Hospital. The office added that no arrests have been made as yet over the accident.
Partly Champika Ranawaka raised awareness that 200 kilometers of sea belonging to Sri Lanka might come under the ownership of China. Addressing a conference held in Kandy yesterday, Champika Ranawaka revealed this awareness.
Speaking at the conference held on his latest book, Doom Boom Economy, Partly Champika Ranawaka pointed out that there is a risk of foreign entities claiming ownership of several development projects in the country.
දැනටමත් කොළඹ වරායේ ණය ගෙවා ගන්න බැරුව.
We have already transferred the ownership of the Colombo harbour to China due to the inability to pay back the loans. The same fate will befall the Hambantota harbour. The same with the Mattala airport. Plans have been made to give away the power plant in Puttlam. Agreements pertaining to this have already been signed. This power plant will come under the ownership of foreigners. All the establishments of importance will be owned by foreigners. So remember that in spite of their war cry that foreigners will not be given ownership, this is what is happening. Today they are constructing a port city. They are planning to give the ownership of one of the islands to China. We know that once the ownership of an island is given to China, the 200-kilometer stretch of sea from that point onwards comes under the ownership of China. This is the law of the sea. So what are they doing? They are planning to colonize this country. On your sports news tonight, Sri Lanka skipper Angelo Matthews has attributed his team's loss to the Black Caps in the first test to poor batting in the first innings. The visiting Sri Lankan team suffered an 8-wicket defeat in the first test against New Zealand.
He was the one who had to go. Sri Lanka resumed their second innings on day 4 of the first test at the Hagley Oval in Christchurch today. Tagala Kaushal was the first to fall today, having made 12 runs. Skipper Angelo Matthews was dismissed for 66. Suranga Lakmal and Shaminda Iranga put on a 59-run stand for the final wicket. Shaminda Iranga scored a career best 45 not out. Suranga Lakmal was dismissed for 16. Sri Lanka were thus bowled out for 407 in their second innings, giving the Black Caps a target of 105 runs to win with a day and a half left to play.
This one's in the air and this should be the end of the innings. Yes, it is.
New Zealand reached the target successfully today, losing only 2 wickets. The second test will be worked off on the 3rd of January in Wellington.
And with that, we wrap up this edition of Primetime News. I'm Shane Silva. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you.